Hello there guys, welcome back to Younes Talks Football, welcome back to a brand new video. I hope all of you are doing well today. This is your preview for the final round of group games that takes place tomorrow. And that's it, we move to the knockout stage of the 2022 World Cup, and that's going to be tasty. But we find out who makes it there by the end of tomorrow, and we have the full last 16 unveiled for everyone to see on paper in terms of who's playing who. But we've still got 4 more games to preview that takes place tomorrow, and we've got one hell of a game in between those 4, and you know which one I'm on about. We're gonna start with them. It's how can I describe this? This is the game of justice. This is the game of revenge. This has been 12 years in the making. Actually more, 12 and a half, you can say, or maybe 12 and a quarter. 12 years in the making since 2010, when Ghana were robbed of a place in the semi-final of the World Cup in South Africa thanks to Uruguay and the handball, which resulted in a penalty that was missed by Asamoah Gyan. But the ball was going in, and if that ball had gone in and Suarez didn't save it with his flipping hand, it would have been Ghana in the semi-final. Now, there's been talk before all of this, and there's been comments made by Younes Suarez as well. He was asked about the fact that in Ghana, he is seen as the devil because of what he did 12 years ago. And he simply said, and you know what, I have to say, I'm against what Suarez did, but I get what he's saying. And let me explain. He was asked about what he done, and he said, I'm not going to apologise for it. He said, I'm not. He said, it is what it is. It's not my fault that Ghana missed a penalty. And you have to be honest here. That's true, because he knew exactly what he was doing. He knew the handball was the last resort for a chance, at least just a chance, for Uruguay to progress and not Ghana. Because if he saves it with his hand, yes, he gets sent off. Yes, he gets a penalty conceded. He'll take that, but it leaves a chance that Ghana might not score. If he had not gone with his hand, it would have gone in. Now, it is cheating. It's blatant cheating. But who progressed to the semi-final that day? It was Uruguay. That's the most important thing. So I get what Suarez is saying. However, if you do something like that, you have to be prepared to have put yourself in a situation. If you can't handle the situation you're in, you shouldn't do that in the first place. So, bearing that in mind, it's like bringing a knife to a gunfight. You know, why show up to a gunfight? If you're not ready for a gunfight, why are you even here? Why have you put yourself in a scenario that allows you to be in danger of a gunfight if you've just rocked up with a knife? Do you know what I mean? It's that sort of analogy. You have to be able to deal with the consequences of your actions. And if you can, fair enough. Fair enough. Suarez, that's exactly what it seems like he has done. He's taken it on the chin. He's like, I'm not going to apologise. I knew exactly what I did. And what? Well, Ghana, look, the consequences for Younes Suarez is if Ghana were to knock out Uruguay tomorrow. That is justice. That is justice. Because Ghana went to the quarterfinal that day. They played that quarterfinal. They should have been in the semi-final. Tomorrow, Ghana have a chance to knock Uruguay out of the World Cup at the group stage. For Uruguay, that's more embarrassing. For Ghana, they made the quarterfinal that day. They played the quarterfinal. That's not embarrassing. You know, they got knocked out. They should have been in the semi. That's not embarrassing. Uruguay to be kicked out of the group stage, that's embarrassing. So Ghana have a big, big opportunity for justice and revenge. And as I am a Chelsea fan, we live on this. We live on revenge. We live on justice. Well, I say justice, but you know what I mean. In terms of being cheated of a situation, like I remember when Chelsea were robbed against Barcelona. And then we went and done what we done 3 years later at the Nou Camp. And that was justice. Tomorrow is Ghana's opportunity to be able to correct a wrong. Something that shouldn't have happened. Tomorrow, Ghana can progress. Now, will they? Ghana have to knock out Uruguay tomorrow. There's no ifs, buts, or maybes. There is no other way here. If Ghana were not to knock out Uruguay and Ghana go home, that's like the big bully at school winning. Do you know what I mean? You know, it's like the big bully at school that bullies you and bullies you and bullies you and bullies you, and then one day you decide that's it. I'm gonna stand up to him, even if it means that I die here. I'm gonna stand up to him and I'm gonna beat him, and then you lose, and then you look like a twat. That is what you don't want. So Ghana tomorrow, look, they have to go in with war mentality. Emotional control, though. Emotional control, as Jose once said all those years ago. Yes, be emotional, but under control. Don't lose your head. Don't get to the point where you're not thinking straight and you're just thinking, I just want to destroy you. Like, no. Have a bit of that, but under control, with a strategy, with a tactic, with a way of beating Uruguay. I hope Ghana can do it. I really hope they can. Now, Ghana, in terms of the team, I think they're going to be fielding the same team that beat South Korea. There's no injury concerns or anything like that. The only injury concern is Ronald Araujo of Uruguay, who is looking like he's not going to be able to play. Apart from that, everyone is available. My advice to Uruguay: do not play Luis Suarez. Uruguay would be crazy. The manager of Uruguay, right, head coach Diego Alonso, would be insane. If he decided to play Luis Suarez. Because let me tell you now, I think there are defenders from Ghana that are going to play tomorrow that will happily take a red card just to break this guy's legs. I honestly think Luis Suarez's legs are in trouble if he sets foot on the pitch tomorrow. My advice, leave him on the bench and stick a couple of bodyguards next to him just so no one gets near him. Because, there's one thing about Africans. Yeah, Africans don't forget. Let me tell you this now. 10, 20, 30 years, they don't forget. It's always stuck here until when they get that justice. If they see you again, you're finished. So don't play that game. Luis Suarez needs to stay away from this game. I'd leave him at home. I'd leave him at the hotel. Play Cavani, play Darwin Núñez. Do what you got to do. Do not play Luis Suarez, man. That's my advice. If Uruguay play Luis Suarez, all I'm saying is I'm here for it. Good luck, yeah? Because I don't think he'll make it off the pitch in one piece. That's all I'm going to say. It's going to be an interesting game. My prediction for tomorrow, Ghana versus Uruguay, I have to say, look, there are games that are won away from just football. You can beat an opponent by not being as good as them. You can win a game by being nowhere near as close to being good as your opponent and still winning. Sometimes when you go in with nothing but heart, you still get the job done. I've seen it happen where, much less able teams have caused all sorts of issues for big teams because they just want it more. There is no way anyone wants it more than Ghana tomorrow. There is no way. So I am honestly going with a Ghana win. I reckon Ghana will get a result here. I think their last performance against South Korea was very impressive. Yes, they conceded, but impressive. Uruguay have not been good up top at all. Ghana, it's all about their defending, and I think they're going to be up for it. They will. You best believe they are going to make sure they don't let anything through. So I see it going one way. Narrow win, but one way. I am going Ghana 2, Uruguay 1. 2-1. They will concede. I think Ghana will concede, but I'm going 2-1. So that's my prediction there. The other game of the group, South Korea versus Portugal, which also kicks off at 3 p.m. UK time. This, I think, for me is a no-brainer, although Portugal have technically already topped the group. So I think they're going to rest players. South Korea do have an opportunity to go through. It's whoever wins on the day between the two games. Whoever wins, you're going through. So South Korea and Uruguay are going to try their utmost to make sure they get a result. South Korea are going to be without key defender Kim Min-jae. He was taken off in injury time. There's also Portugal left back Nuno Mendes that is not going to be available because he came off the pitch crying. We saw that happen. I still think it's going to be Portugal's day though. Yes, there'll be rotation. I still think Portugal have enough talent there to get a job done. I'm going 1-0 Portugal. Narrow because of rotation, because of some players that don't normally play, but I'm going to go South Korea 0, Portugal 1, and I think it'll be Portugal and Ghana to go through to the next stage. Ghana in second place, Portugal in first place. And we move on to the next group, Group G. Serbia versus Switzerland. This, again, just like the other game, it's going to be a case of whoever wins goes through. Brazil are already through. There's not much there. But Switzerland, Cameroon and Serbia all still have a shout. Serbia need to beat Switzerland and hope that Brazil beat Cameroon. Cameroon need to beat Brazil and hope that Serbia get a result against Switzerland, if I'm not mistaken, or a draw depending on how much Cameroon win by. And Serbia can go through if they beat Switzerland and Brazil get a result against Cameroon. Switzerland, we already know, need a draw. If Switzerland draw, it's basically done, I reckon, unless if Cameroon do cause a shock, but Switzerland are close to just needing a draw. Serbia, Switzerland, I think you're going to see Serbia try and give it their all. Serbia should be able to get a good result, at least in this game. But against Cameroon, you could see up top, they have what it takes. But defensively, my God, they go to sleep sometimes. You know, they go to sleep. I don't expect that from teams like Serbia, Croatia. You know, those teams around that region. I don't expect them to be so open defensively. Against Cameroon, Serbia were absolutely solid and then let the floodgates open. And then were solid again and then let the floodgates open. I don't understand. Anyway, Switzerland, I think, are talented. I think they're going to outperform Serbia on the day. On the day, as a prediction, I am going to go Switzerland to get that result. I just think Switzerland are maybe just a little bit too talented. Serbia, I've got their backs against the walls. I think Switzerland on the day will get a result. I'm going Serbia 0, Switzerland 2. 2-0 Switzerland. It's quite an outright score, to be honest. I would normally go with Serbia to score, and as I've said, I think they have talent up top, but I think Switzerland are on their mojo now, and I think they'll get a result. And they'll finish second in the group because Brazil will top it. And moving on to Brazil, Cameroon versus Brazil. Cameroon, like I said, caused a shock against Serbia to be able to come back from where they were. You know, they were 3-1 down. They came back. It was 3-3 in a matter of seconds, basically, right? Minutes, to be real. But Brazil are a different beast. Let's be honest. Cameroon, with Abubakar, with Choupo-Moting, with some of the lads that they have going forward, yes, can cause a threat. But against Serbia's leaky defence, yes, perhaps. Against Switzerland, didn't really happen. Against Brazil, I think it's going one way. And yes, Brazil are going to rotate. Because they can. They've topped the group, I think. It's basically done at this point, especially on goal difference. So I think they're going to rotate. But like I mentioned at the start of this tournament, Brazil have the best squad depth going in this tournament by a mile. You can compare with the French, but Tunisia proved that the French have flaws. Brazil, I honestly think, using their depth is still a case of playing against some of the best, you know. Okay, so they're going to bring on their squad depth. All right, cool. They're going to bring on Martinelli and Gabriel Jesus. You know, like, what more do you want? You know, they're going to bring on, Casemiro's going to play. Like, I don't see a chance for Cameroon here. I don't see a chance for Cameroon. Yes, Cameroon will go all out. They have to win, which means they're going to leave themselves exposed. Defensively, they're not tight. Brazil, I think, are going to have fun. And that's all due respect to Cameroon. I think this could be a little bit, I don't want to say a thumping because Brazil will rotate, but I think it's going to be, I'll go Cameroon 0. Brazil, I want to say 4, but I'm going to go 3 because it's not going to be their first team. So I'm going to go Cameroon 0, Brazil 3. Brazil will take it lightly, try and save and conserve energy going into the second half, and I think they'll just do that. So I'm going 3-0 Brazil on the day, Cameroon to go home. And there we are. That's the final round of group games, ladies and gentlemen. That's your final preview for the group game stage. Let me know, for the group stage, let me know your thoughts down below. I'd love to hear all of your predictions, your preview, how you see it going down. Much appreciated. And I will see all of you later on for a roundup of today's games and how it's all gone down. So I will see all of you then. Hit the subscribe button if you want to. Hit the notification bell to be notified once I've uploaded. Smash the like button if you've enjoyed this. And I will see all of you later on. Have a good one, people. See you in a bit. Take care and peace.